Okay. Peggy says, I have a zillion questions. And I'm going to start with some shout outs. First of all, Penny, she and her husband watch every night. Thank you so much, Penny. Joanna Rose from Franklin Park, New Jersey. Tisha Daniels in East Idaho. Thank you. Brian Green from Prescott, Arizona. Mr. and Mrs. Victor and Tia Deserina. Thank you guys for watching. Johnny Scott, Alberta. Lisa Walker, Stephen Trapato from Fresno. Nana from Ghana. Ghana? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Brenda Tobin from South Dakota. Selena Jungling from Fruitland, Idaho. We have a lot of people watching in Fruitland. Kristen Butcher from Fremont, Ohio. Lisa and Glenn from Brisbane, Australia. Terry Van Warmer from Salmon, Idaho. Danae Barnard, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. I also want to shout out to Janetta Shire. Last June 6th was their 22nd anniversary on the day they met and fell in love. And here they are watching Courtroom Insider. Amazing. Shout out to Lorraine Smith from England. Found us at the end of Lori's first trial. You've been a regular follower. Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate that. And shout out to Luana Maxon. She doesn't miss a minute of Courtroom Insider. Well, Luana, I appreciate that. Thank you. We do have a zillion questions. I'm going to answer as many as I can and I apologize. I hope the signal's coming in clear. This issue with the internet has been my top worry this trial. Penny says, I don't know what white noise is when the lawyers and the judge have a sidebar. I'd appreciate if you could explain when white noise is played in the courtroom. I played it earlier, Penny. What happens is Lori will get on a headset, the prosecutor will get on a headset, the judge will get on a headset, the court reporter will get on a headset, and then Lori has another person on her team who can get on a headset. They can then communicate with each other. And we can't hear any of it because that noise I played earlier is played. So it's just shh. You can't hear anything. It blasts it all out. Will Lori Daybell stay out of the courtroom now? Jesse asks. As the judge has ordered her out of the courtroom, will she be allowed back in? Obviously, I think we now know that yes, she was allowed to come back in. She is still continuing to represent herself. Will the judge tell her counsel to take over if she continues to cause problems? Yes, she did not cause any issues today that we saw, major issues that we know of, but and we'll see how long that lasts. If she has any more disruptions, the judge warned her, if you talk over me, if you talk over the prosecutor, if you continue to ask questions that have been objected and I've sustained, your advisory counsel will take over. So she's been warned. Nate, you were going to show us a special picture yesterday. Did you forget? Yes, thank you. This is from Tony. I apologize for my memory. She brought me this. Apparently, twice a year, there is a mountain here in Phoenix where you can see a cougar. Oh my gosh, we're coming full circle with the cougar. Maybe that's what I heard in the courtroom. You see that on the side there? Twice a year, 2 months a year, you can see a cougar. The sun causes this shadow in the mountain, and you see a cougar. And there it is. And that is why I thought they said a cougar. That's going to be my excuse tonight. I was thinking about showing you all this photo. She brought this to me. I'm going to put that in a frame in my office. I just have to say, we have the most incredibly kind viewers that I just am amazed and overwhelmed. And I don't really know how to adequately thank you. I don't. I tell my wife all the time, like, how do you say thanks for this? That you give me these pictures and you make stuff for my family and my kids. And it's just Kay has told me before, Kay Woodcock, that, there's been such a tragedy, but they've gained a whole new family of support. And not that I'm anywhere, near there being a victim or anything, but I just thank you all for being so kind and polite and everything. Thank you for tirelessly making sure the chats are on point. Do we know what the 30-minute sidebar was for today? That's all Peggy making sure the chats are on point. And apparently today the chats were crazy on our website, on our East Idaho News YouTube channel. But I got an email from someone thanking her for her good job. We don't know what the sidebar was about. Hopefully we might know tomorrow and I'll let you know. Brandon asks, it was revealed that on December 21st, 2019, Lori gave her car to Colby. They had to go pick it up at Ian Pulowski's sister house. How did Ian's sister come into possession of Lori's car? I don't know. Let's see. Ian and Melanie would have been married for about a month at that time. So I'm not sure how that worked out. Who was the woman by the door? She and Lori seemed to have a moment, and the woman looked very sympathetic to Lori. The woman by the door. You mean when she walked out? When she was walked out, it would have likely been her attorney, because there's two tables and the defense tables are right by the door. Unless it was someone else. I'm not sure. Lori she might have looked at somebody in the audience and smiled or something. Kaylee says, why is Lori wanting a 404B hearing? Does she think her character would benefit from this hearing? She's only wanting the hearing if the prosecutor is going to bring in 404B evidence, which we talked about last night. If you missed it, go check it out. So if the prosecutor asks to bring in that stuff, Lori has a right to appeal it before the jury's brought in. She has a right to oppose it and say, no, why should it be brought in? What type will be brought in? She has the right to, ask all sorts of questions like that. Nicole asked, why was Lori able to approach the bench at times and not at others? I thought that because she's convicted already, she wasn't able to approach. She's technically not, but I think the judge at some points doesn't want to hassle with getting the headphones on and technical problems and whatnot. And so he just has her come up. I think it also deals with the fact of, is it going to be a 1 or 2 question sidebar, or is it going to be an in-depth legal issue that the reporter needs to be on the headphones with? If it's just a quick, what's the scheduling issue? What are we doing? I think he'd rather just do it and get it out of the way. Eileen, how does Nate stay awake? I was falling asleep in court yesterday. He stayed alert. I said today that when that white noise comes on, my eyes get heavy, and especially in the afternoons. Luckily on Friday, somebody brought some candy and I had some Jolly Ranchers. I actually still have one right here. Do you like Jolly Ranchers? Oh, maybe I don't. It was a green one, an apple one. I do. Here we go. Apples. I like Jolly Ranchers. But I've been having less and less candy lately. But anyway, that's how I do it. And I type the things. But yeah, by 4:00, I'm ready to go. Teresa says, do you think with this being her last and only chance that Lori will put on a defense or take the stand? I don't. Well, she might put on a defense. I don't know with what witnesses, and I don't think she'll take the stand. She could surprise us all. Maybe she will. I hope she does. I'd love for her to take the stand. I'd love to hear her witnesses. I just don't see it happening. Evelyn says, on Let's Make a Deal, you called yourself Nathaniel. When did you switch to Nate? They ask you for your legal name. My legal name is Nathaniel Frank Eaton, Grandpa Frank, my mom's dad. And so they asked for my legal name. So I've gone by Nate since the time I was 2 or 3, and always been Nate unless I'm in trouble or I am on Let's Make a Deal. Julia says, can the defendant who represents herself be found in contempt of court? Yes, she can. Now, what does that mean? She goes to jail. She's already in jail. She can't pay a fine. She doesn't have any money. But she can be found in contempt. The judge can say you're in contempt. He could say, we're going to put you in a room and have the live stream streamed into you, and you can have a camera in there. And there's a bunch of different things they can do if someone is misbehaving. But yeah, you can be found in contempt. Melissa asks, how are the jurors acting in court? Are they interested? Are they taking notes? I think they're very interested. I have seen some taking notes. They're very tuned into it. I believe they're following the stories so far. I mean, we're only on day 3 that they've been in there. But yeah, I think that they're interested. Haven't caught any falling asleep. The days get long. You're sitting a long time. But we'll see with that. What if a juror knew what 404B meant? Would they know by context that Lori was convicted of other crimes? I don't believe 404B has been discussed in the presence of the jury. If it has been and they knew, that they might be able to put it together. But all of this discussion about opening the door, 404B, things like that has been outside the presence of the jury. Now, in Idaho, Jim Archibald would oppose and object when Arizona stuff was brought up. He'd say, objection, rule 404B. If the jury knew, they could be like, oh, she's got other crimes in Arizona. If you know that. Be honest, I don't know how many know. Some might, but I didn't. A lot of people don't know that. Vicky says, I'm watching from the UK. Can the jury ask the judge what the incident was? Also, does Lori have any supporters in the room? She does not have any supporters that have made themselves seen. She does have a row of seats behind the defense benches. If one of her family or friends wanted to come and support her, they could have a seat. None of her family has come, other than Rex Connor, her uncle, but he has sat on the other side. He's not there to support her, and in this trial at least. And then the jury can ask what the incident is, but the judge is not going to tell them. They have to, work that out separately. Well, they're not going to work it out because he's not going to let them know. And that's why they keep referring to it as the incident. Joanna asks, can Chad watch Lori from death row? I'm trying to figure out the motive of defending yourself unless she's giving him a show. I don't think I think that she thinks she knows best. That's the motive. And she didn't want to waive her right to a speedy trial. That's honestly motive number one. If she had other attorneys, they said they were not ready to go to trial. There's so much evidence in this. They were not ready to do it. And because of that, she said, no, I want a trial now, and therefore I will represent myself because no attorneys would be willing to do it. Now, as far as Chad watching, I've heard conflicting stories from people that say, yes, he can watch. No, he cannot. I cannot give you a 100% firm answer. I know that Court TV is not on the channel offerings in there. I'm sure he's getting updates. He doesn't have internet. He can't have unlimited internet to watch East Idaho News. But if he can and he's watching, Chad, call me. Let's talk. Julie says, since today marks the 5-year anniversary of the recovery of Tylee and JJ, I was wondering if you could give us an update on the park that was going to be built on Chad's old property. Good question. For those of you that are new to this case, last September, Chad Daybell's home was torn down along with the outbuildings that were on the property. A few days before, the new owner who bought the property, who's asked to be anonymous, gave me permission to walk through the house and do a kind of a tour of the property. You can go watch that on our YouTube channel if you have not seen it. Then the home was torn down, and in a matter of hours, it was flattened. The property owners have not yet publicly announced what they plan to do with the property. They have said they want it to be a... Did Lori really flip off the judge on her way out? No, she did not. Did Lori really flip off the judge on her way out? No, she did not. She pointed at him. If you go watch the video, she turned around, and I think it was done more in a... Pointed at him. If you go watch the video, she turned around, and I think it was done more in a... I don't want to say casual way. It wasn't like a, I think she was probably saying, well, he's the one that was mean at casual way. It wasn't like a, I think she was probably saying, well, he's the one that was mean at me. I don't know. I'm just speculating. That's the way I read it. Why do advertisements play during some of the programs? It's not as bad now as before, but it makes it more difficult for me to hear. Oh, I think you mean during here on Courtroom Insider and on YouTube? During the trial, we have no control over the ads. It's a YouTube thing. We stream on YouTube because it's the easiest platform to get highlighted. I thought this was not allowed to do in the jail. Is it because getting your hair done, is that to hand? She is her own attorney. The advisory attorneys are there to assist. She is her own attorney. The advisory attorneys are there to assist. And I think that she's kind of told them, you know, that's kind of how it is. Cindy asked, do Lori's advisors tell her what she should and shouldn't do? I think they help her. Yeah, I think for sure they help her with that. I'm going to try to get through all these. I know there's a lot. No one ever says where the children are from Brandon. Does he have full custody of the 4 children, or does Melanie also get them? Carol says. It's split, half and half.